Welcome back to Sports Nation. Melissa Rowland joins us along with Express News columnist Mike Finger in studio for our Writers Roundtable. Get off to the first topic. Penny Hardaway, his recent comments about Kawhi Leonard not being a superstar because he has no interest in being the face of the league or starring in TV commercials. And Penny cleaned up those comments. Actually, he was probably misquoted because he said Kawhi is a star because of what he can do on both ends of the floor, but that Kawhi doesn't embrace that side of it, which may kind of lower his superstar label. You guys agree or disagree?
I'm kind of in between.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of basketball superstardom, what he does on the floor, there's no doubt. He's one of the top 5 players in the league right now. If you ask the casual fan who is not, a hardcore NBA follower to pick Kawhi Leonard out of a lineup, maybe he's not as recognizable as Kobe Bryant or LeBron James. Probably never will be. So I guess we're kind of splitting hairs here on whether he's a superstar or not. But I guess I have to admit he's not going to be that guy who's going to be in all of the commercials, just in the national consciousness like a LeBron or a Kobe.
Yeah.
Tim Duncan didn't like the spotlight, and I don't think anybody would say that he's not a superstar. However, I agree with Mike Finger in the sense that there's kind of a distinct line between, obviously Kawhi is incredibly respected as any other player that's on the court. So respect is one thing, but superstardom, popularity, that's another thing. And he'll never have the type of popularity that a guy like Kobe Bryant has, or a guy who's really affable, loves being in front of the camera, is gregarious, is talkative. That's not him. It'll never be him.
Now, we say Tim Duncan didn't like the spotlight, but if you go back to history, he was in some Sprite commercials, He was in some Adidas commercials, he was rapping. But Kawhi was recently over in China and did some great things over there. Did that kind of change your label of him not wanting to do off-the-court stuff, or maybe it's just not presented to him enough?
I think there is an effort there in his mind that he understands if he wants to be that superstar, he needs to be a little more outgoing. And I think he gets that, and I think the China trip was kind of part of that. It was hilarious looking at the photos of him. There's all these tourists there on the Great Wall, and he's standing there with the basketball. And we all know him, that can't be the most comfortable thing he's ever done, is to just have his photo taken on the Great Wall of China. Mm-hmm. But he's making that effort, outreach. I think he's going to be more recognizable as his career goes on. He's just never going to be that peak, Michael Jordan type. Everybody recognizes him superstar.
But even if he's in commercials, even if he's reaching out, going on these types of trips, it's his personality. That's just not his personality. He's not an excitable guy. He doesn't crack jokes. He's not, he doesn't say things that are, super highly quotable, these great things. He's always very politically correct, very subdued, almost flat-lined in a way. Yeah. And so he needs to change his personality in order to break out of that, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not going to happen. Yeah. Kawhi Leonard is probably going to be still even killed. But you talk to people around Kawhi off the court, and they'll tell you he's one of the funniest guys. Does crack jokes, but still, I think we all can agree that he is a superstar just in his own way, though. But even the possibility of adding Kyrie Irving, it was a long shot, but the Spurs they weren't able to make the deal. Boston gave up a lot to get Kyrie. But what if the Spurs? What if you think that they'll be able to contend with the Warriors in the West, even if they had Kyrie or Irving on this team? But now that they don't, this is the roster. Will they still able to contend?
They need something to change. They need the Warriors to have an injury or to just fall back to earth or whatever. The Warriors, we're talking about an all-time historic team.
Yeah.
And then the Spurs are great. They have the misfortune of playing in an era when we have an all-time great team in the West. Mm-hmm. And so the trade for Kyrie Irving, if you could find a way to add Kyrie Irving to this whole Spurs roster without giving anybody up, that would have been great. Kyrie Irving is a transcendental talent. But to get Kyrie Irving, they would have had to given up a LaMarcus Aldridge. They would have had to given up a Danny Green. They would have to given up key pieces. So I don't think this was a missed opportunity in the sense that they should have done whatever it takes to get Kyrie Irving, because there's no guarantee that would have made them better considering what they had to give up.
So you still don't think they're better than the Warriors right now?
The Spurs better than the Warriors? Who would think that?
Right. Well, not even better, but not even better. I shouldn't say better, not better, but at the same time, still able to contend with them. So, if they meet the Western Conference Finals right now with this new roster, can the Spurs not get swept, maybe even take them 7?
Well, you look at Game 1 last year, they were ahead by 20 points before Kawhi gets hurt. So I think in their minds, they have what it takes. They might have a plan to deal with the Warriors and give them a series. I don't think anybody can sit here and say right now the Spurs are a better team than the Warriors, or the Spurs would be favorites over the Warriors. That's obviously not true. Yeah. But I think they have a chance, and until we see them play a whole series with Kawhi, we can't say that they don't.
I think the Spurs would have been able to contend, or we at least would have been able to entertain the idea that they'd be able to contend if they had gotten a guy like Kyrie, or if they had gotten a guy like Chris Paul. The fact of the matter is they weren't able to contend last year. They didn't make any major pickups. I think absolutely if they could have gotten one of those guys, even if it meant giving up LaMarcus, it would have been 100% worth it. The roster that they have now, there's no way.
Yeah, a few seconds left. You guys probably appreciate this because it is baseball, though. But the Astros, have they gotten over that storm? And now, you know, the first month of the regular season, they were hot, but they were in a little slump. You think that it's over now? You think that they're fine and they'll be able to go into the postseason fine?
The problem with predicting baseball, unlike in basketball, you know the best team's usually going to win. Baseball postseason is kind of a crapshoot. I think the Astros got to have a chance.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know if they're guaranteed to win anything.
Yeah, still got to win the World Series. Listen.
I agree. I think it all comes down to health. It's looking like they'll be able to be pretty much whole by the time the postseason starts. If they can get whole, I think they definitely have a good shot.
Still more to come. Part 2 of Melissa Rowland's conversation with Andre Robeson. SA Sports Nation continues right after this.